I tried so hard to have a good day. I woke up 2 hours before I had to go to work. I watched some YouTube, ate some breakfast, and pretty much just chilled out before I had to go. So I was already in a good mood, or at least a decent mood. So it's time to go to work. I put my clothes on, my teeth are brushed, I'm showered, I'm full, I'm ready to go. I'm feeling good. I get in the car with my dad. He drives me up to my job. I get out of the car, I say goodbye. I walk into the store. As soon as I walked in the store, I realized that we were slammed. It was so busy. People were in every aisle, and I think we only had two cashiers, and those lines were full. I go into the break room, take off my jacket, put it on the hanger. Then I clock in, go to the office, I get my earpiece, and I put on my mask because, COVID. I'm ready to knock this day out so I can go home. So, my manager gives me a till, he tells me what register to go on, and I do it. So I try to get out there real fast so I can hurry up and help. I put my till in and close my drawer and fix up my bags and stuff, and I turn on my light and I'm ready to go. As soon as I turned on my light, people just started filling in my line like immediately. So I'm ringing as fast as I can. And I think I'm going pretty fast, right? But no matter how fast I go, the line just keeps piling and piling. And after a little bit, I'm by myself because the people who were on cashiers were actually office managers. So they had other stuff to do. And I was trying to hold down the fort, but there was just too many. So I had to call them back up every once in a while. After the second time I called somebody up, one of the office people, we're going to say his name was Greg. He was starting to get like a little snippy. He would say stuff like, "Come on man, you got to pick it up." Or, "Come on man, we're going to need you to ring a little faster." And at that point, I'm starting to get a little irritated because it's not my fault. No matter how fast I ring, the people just kept coming in the lines. There were just too many people. We needed more cashiers than one. So I think it's like the fourth time that I have to call someone up for help because, like I said before, they're just coming and coming and coming. And then, out of nowhere, he just snaps. All right, you know what? That's it. You're done. Done? What do you mean, done? That's what my high school teachers used to say to people when they were being bad in class. What do you mean, done? So he storms past my register towards the office. And on his way past, he's like, "That's it, you're done. We can't do this anymore. You're going on carts." And for those of you who might not know what carts is, it's basically when your whole job is to grab buggies, bring them back in from being brought out. And because of the COVID, we have to account for people who come in and out. And that was also a part of the job. It's super easy, but it's super boring at the same time. And at the time, there was already someone else outside working buggies, but they can also cashier if they needed to. So Greg grabs the till from the office, brings it out, tells me to pull mine. So I pull mine, and then he puts that one in, and then he gets the guy on the outside doing buggies to come in and ring. Then after that, he's like, "Come on." So I follow him into the office. I put my till down for him to count. I was trying my best to keep really calm because I was really irritated at this point because I just felt like it was unfair. It was so unfair that he was mad at me for not checking out customers fast enough when it's pretty much impossible because they just kept coming no matter what. That's just how busy we were. And I understood that it was frustrating for me to have to keep calling people to come over and help because they had their own stuff they had to get done. But I was just following their own rules, but I still got in trouble. Anyway, so like I said, I'm trying to keep calm. I had messed up a little bit earlier on a transaction, so I was trying to explain that to Greg while keeping calm, but he was just looking at me like he didn't really care. So I just ended the conversation there and went outside to do some buggies. Now, usually, this is where I would close off, become really defensive, really mean, really nasty. But lately, I've been trying to change myself because my defensiveness is one of the things that I hate about myself. Or hate's a strong word, I don't like about myself. So instead of just being pissed off at everybody, including the customers and coworkers and people who had nothing to do with the situation, I just went into the bathroom, took a couple breaths, and then I went back out to do the buggies. Don't get me wrong, I was still very irritated, very pissed off, but I kept those emotions on the back burner. I didn't ignore them. I still felt them, and I just allowed myself to feel pissed off, feel irritated, and feel like my situation was unfair. I just decided to let it play out inside myself, if that makes any sense. I didn't try to suppress it, but I also didn't push it on to other people. I didn't try to stop myself from feeling that way because I recently learned that that's just not how emotions work. And if you feel a certain way, it's because of a reason, and you should just feel it. Don't try to get it away from you. So I do that. Maybe 30 minutes later, I've calmed down. It's not so much on my mind anymore. It's still in the back of my mind, but it's not front and center like it was. And after I'd calmed down a little bit, I decided, okay, maybe you weren't as fast as you could be back there on register. Maybe you were, but it doesn't matter now because this is the situation that you're in. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the game plan. We're going to do better here than we did in there. That's what I told myself. So with that being said, I worked the shit out of those buggies. I worked so hard, I even got a $2 tip. Since when have you ever heard of someone getting a tip at a grocery store? I just made sure I was extra nice to the customers. Real sweet, hi, hello, how are you? Have a nice day. All of that, and I tried to be genuine with it. As genuine as I could for retail anyway. And pretty soon, my mood came back. Not the bad one, the good one. I was okay. I was feeling good. Just from having sweet interactions with customers and such, I was feeling a lot better. So, fast forward like 5 hours later, and I'm coming towards the end of my shift. And during those whole 5 hours, I just kept my positive attitude, and it wasn't fake either. It wasn't a fake positive attitude. I had felt those emotions of anger, bitterness, unfairness. I felt all that in like those first 30 minutes. And then they eventually went away, or at least lessened. They went down, they decreased. Anytime Greg would say something over the earpiece, I would always respond respectfully. I would always basically just give him the utmost respect, not show any kind of resentment in my voice. That's what I did during those whole last 5 hours. So it's near the end of my shift. I walk back into the store, and Greg asked me for a favor. He wanted me to get some of the produce so I can take it back to the cooler. So I said, okay. I didn't give him no issues. I did what I was told. I come back and I'm about to pass him. I'm not expecting him to say anything, but he pulls me aside. Then he just says, hey man, listen, I'm sorry about earlier. We were just really busy, and we had some stuff that we had to get done, and you were calling people up here and there, and it just seemed like we were never going to get what we needed to done. And I just wanted to say I'm sorry, even if I felt the way that I did. I just wanted to say I'm sorry about the way that I said what I did to you. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that I wasn't expecting an apology, because I was. I just figured out early on, if I was respectful and nice and didn't add more fuel to the fire, then if he felt like he was wrong, then he would apologize eventually. And he did. And after he said that, on the outside I was like, "Ah, man, it's cool. You don't have to apologize. I know we were busy, and blah blah blah." But on the inside I was like, "Yeah, you better apologize." Honestly, that was probably the emotions that I felt earlier saying that. But that was pretty much it. We all closed together and went home, and I didn't really think about it much after that. The main point of this story is that sometimes it's good to, well, a lot of the times, it's good to keep your emotions in check. Not only because it helps from adding fuel to the fire, but if you can understand where the other person's coming from, then you can get why they treated you a certain way. And if they're decent people, they'll recognize that once they calm down and then give you the apology. And it's also up to you at that point to choose whether or not you want to forgive them. Anyways, that's all I got, guys. I just wanted to get that off my chest and see if anybody else can relate to a situation like that. I know a lot of you in retail have probably gone through much, much worse, but it's still nice to share my story. So let me know in the comments if any of you guys ever had something similar happen. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.